Hi everyone, this is Bev here, Clarkovision, and I'm just on to do a quick update for now. Thought I'll just jump on this evening and throw up a quick update video of a few sitting here that I just kind of want to show and get out the way and just explain where they came from and stuff, kind of bits and pieces of VCLT, as well as just one or two that I've picked up myself. I got a pretty decent grab from eBay, and I saw a couple of interesting albums at a nice price online. So 4 vinyl and about, I don't know, 7 CDs maybe. So I'm just going to get on with it, and the first one, they're not in any particular order, but the first one I'm showing is, I received this just a few days ago in the mail, and this was from Cloudy Milder, and he sent this one on to me, another Hammerfall. This one is Chapter 5, Unbent, Unbowed, Unbroken. And of course I'm a big Hammerfall fan. I really dig this band. I think they're fantastic. So he was happy to pass it on to me. So I'm really chuffed. I haven't spun this one yet. I've been trying to get through stuff fairly quick, but I've just not got them all done yet. So you know, there is the disc and all that as well. So excellent, thanks Andy, appreciate that very much. And then I got a couple of CDs from Metal Mickey as well, from just the other side of the border. No other than a couple of Iron Maiden gaps to fill. So I've never got around to getting this album yet, and so Mike obviously found a copy and popped it off to me. So yeah, Brave New World. What I do love the artwork on this one. This is a cool, it's like a futuristic London, I guess. So yeah, and obviously this was the one when the band had got Bruce and Adrian back, and they became the 6-piece that they are. So I've listened to this one once. So I'm not really in a position to give an overall full kind of review or what on the album. Interestingly enough, I posted a picture about this one on Facebook saying that it was spinning, and 1 or 2 comments came in, and one of them was it Jeff at Mega Jeff McRockmack. He mentioned that he found a few of the songs on here from when he last listened began to sound a little bit repetitive in places, and there was one track on here where that stood out for me, and I think it was the title track, Brave New World. Towards the end of the song, it was like he was just repeating the lyrics, Brave New World, or It's a Brave, I can't remember, but it seemed to go on, just that, and I was thinking, no, this needs to end now. It's enough. If that's the end of the song, then that's the end of the song. Because a band that I used to note that were really bad for songs going over their time was Oasis. When they were in their heyday back in the 90s, they were very guilty of dragging a song out to the point at the end where it just got so repetitive. It was, you just got up and pressed stop, basically. That was how irritating it became. But for me on this one, I noticed it mostly on Brave New World as starting to become irritating. I didn't notice it so much on the others, just on the first listen. But yeah, overall I thought it was a pretty decent album. But yeah, I want to give it a few more listens before I kind of decide what I really think of it. But really chuffed to have it because, you know, I need to collect all of the Maiden albums. And in fact, and the other one Metal Mickey sent me was this one, Another Gap. I've never ever got around to picking this one up either. And now I have. So I've never heard this album in full either. This one I've played, this one I've not got around to playing yet, but it'll be coming soon. So again, there's a few tracks on here that I probably won't be familiar with, believe it or not. But the one that stands out the most for me is Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter. I do recall when that one was in the charts. But this album, you know, because it was it 1990, was it 90, 91, 92? It was late 91, I think. You know, so it was around a time, 1992 for some of the videos here. It was around the time where I was a bit doom and gloomy regarding the whole music thing, the end of the 80s, the death of Steve Clark, and the changing of musical styles and stuff. So it was something I wasn't overly taking too much notice of anyway at the time, but again, essential for completing the Maiden collection. So when I was going through, I was just looking on Discogs and I was checking out the discography recently, and these two mean I now have every single studio album from Iron Maiden except the two Blaze Bayley ones. So these will be the next two, and then it's a case of just the live stuff that I'm still to pick up, one or two of the live shows. In fact, I've probably still to pick up most of the live shows. I've got Live After Death, and I've got Flight 666, and I've also got En Vivo, but I've to get all the other live ones, you know. So there's Maiden England, there's Rock in Rio, there's Live on, was it Live in Death Road or something like that. So there's a few of them, but I'll grab them whenever. But yeah, so pretty much I've got all the Bruce fronted or all the Maiden albums, because I've got Diano as well, obviously, apart from the two Blaze ones. So chuffed. Right. So another couple of CDs which I just picked up. Another power metal interest that I thought I would just grab and see what they were like, because this is Magnus Carlsen's Freefall. So Magnus Carlsen, it's his side project from, because he's regularly in, what the devil's the band? Oh, it's just escaped me. I'm sure I'd written something down, because I was scribbling notes. Let me just check. Is that... Excuse me a minute. This is supposed to be... Yeah, because I was thinking to myself... That's right. Is it Primal Fear Magnus Carlsen's in? It's one of these power metal bands. Aye. Anyway... It's his project, Freefall, and he gets a whole bunch of guest singers on this, and this is the latest release from Magnus Carlsen's Freefall. So this is just a 2020 release on Frontiers. I believe it's the third one he's released, and he's got the standout singer that I know of who does guests vocals is Ronnie Romero. He's a really popular guy. He's in demand from loads of people. Loads of people want him. He's a great singer. You've got Dino Jelusic, Renan Zonta. I'm probably pronouncing half of these names wrongly. Mike Anderson, Nura Luimo, that's a female singer. Tony Martin. So yeah, there's quite a few different singers on here, and again, this is kind of sort of fantasy power metal stuff, and it's really good. Quite pleased with this. So it's another 2020 pickup. So I'm quite upbeat, you know, feel good stuff. And so, while I was looking around, I decided to pull the plug on this one because I was kind of interested in this as well, because I had sampled a few of their songs, the ones that were available on YouTube, and I'd seen a couple of people show it and were saying it was great. So I went for the latest Striper release, which is Even the Devil Believes. So again, another 2020 release, and also on Frontiers. Again, Striper are absolutely nailing it with the excellent artwork on some of their albums. Really great stuff. And you have a yellow CD with a cross kind of thing there. So yeah, interestingly enough, I was looking through the booklet on this, and I don't know if somebody else has shown this already actually, but the band members are all shown here wearing their yellow and black face masks. So yeah, this year will never be forgotten, let me tell you, in a hurry. It'll go down in history. Just think, when you're in school in 100, 200 years' time, 300 years' time maybe, they'll all be, their history classes will be, oh, how they made such a mess of the coronavirus pandemic. Oh dear. But anyway, so yes, I have managed to get a spinning on this one, and it's pretty good, yeah. So I think it's. I'll hold that thought because I'm not finished with Striper yet. So I've got 2 more CDs here, and they arrived from Texas, believe it or not, just last week as well. And he said to me, you don't do a video, you don't need to, because I don't really want you to do that if you don't want a kind of thing. But I thought, no, I'm just going to mention them because Jim had ordered for me, I don't know if some of you will remember, but back in April or early May, I think it was maybe April, I'd asked him to help me out with getting a book for the PlayStation game Uncharted 4, and it was the artwork of the Uncharted 4 game, because it wasn't available in Europe anywhere unless you paid a fortune for it on eBay. However, the US PlayStation store had some, so I asked if I sent him the money if he would get it for me, and so he did. And at the same time, he says, I've ordered a couple of things for you, because he emailed me to let me know this. He says, now I've ordered them from Brazil, he says, but it's being delayed because of COVID, and Brazil's mail system went haywire, obviously, as half the world's mail systems did. And so after that VCLT that he sent me the other week with the Orthophone Blue and everything, he sent me an email. He says, remember those two CDs I mentioned 2 years ago that I had ordered and hoping they would come in? He says, well, I just posted that box off to you, he says, and then a day or two later in comes the mail from Brazil, and in that was, this is one of the ones he had ordered for me. So I was supposed to get this ages ago, basically, but these two were held up, and this is Striper's Goddamn Evil, as you can see there, and again, brilliant artwork. So I was kind of, this was on my wants list, I was going to get around to getting this, and of course when Jim sent me this, it kind of pushed me to clicking for this one as well, when I was browsing the Frontiers thing. So this one is the Brazilian issue as well, though, which is pretty cool, if I say so myself. It's an official release, and it comes in a slipcase, very cool, and inside you have the jewel case. So and it's licensed. It's Frontiers, obviously, but it's on, what's the Brazilian label, I think, is either Voice Music or Encore Music, or maybe the other distributors or people that it's licensed to for the Brazilian area. So yes. And as I was getting slightly confused when I was speaking about the other Stryper album, I said I had listened to it and it's pretty good. Well, actually I haven't. It's this one I had listened to. I put on, now wait till I get this right. Yeah, this is the one. I had put this one on, so I've still to play this one, although I've heard a couple of the tracks. And what I would say is regarding Goddamn Evil, I think this is really good. I loved this album. Very enjoyable, solid, heavy songs, and I think it's contender for my favourite Stryper album of the ones I've got, which is No More Hell to Pay, Fallen, this one, and so I think it's the last four I've got. Yeah, out of the, and all of them are good, but I think out of what I've heard, this one's taking lead. So again, thank you, Jim, for that. He'd never actually said to me what the two CDs were, but he said that they're on your wants list. So, and this is the other one that he sent me. Again, it's a Brazilian edition. And it is this one. This is Magnum, and it's live at the Symphony Hall. And this is on Shinigami Records, under license from Steamhammer, obviously, because they're Steamhammers. And this one comes with like an OBI or an OB strip thing type thing. And obviously the writing is not Japanese this time, but it's Portuguese along there. CD Duplo. And also what it says there is you have a guest vocalist, Tobias Sammet of the cool Avantasia. He guests on some of the tracks on here, I believe. I'm not sure which ones, because this is another one I've still not got to spin. So this is Magnum live at the Symphony Hall, which I think is London. And it's a double disc, and you've got some classic, you've also got some of the newer stuff from their later albums. You have got the title track, Lost on the Road to Eternity, on here. You've got classics like How Far, Jerusalem, Vigilante, Don't Wake the Lion, and you've got Sacred Blood, Divine Lies, that's another newer one. So yeah, I was absolutely delighted when I opened this one up as well. So, and there we have it, double discs. So absolutely tremendous, and just to have the Brazil, you know, I've got a couple of Argentinian releases. I've got a New Zealand pressing, or two. I've got a Mexican promo of Def Leppard. But I've never had any Brazilian issues before until now, so this is pretty cool. So, not that one, sorry. So these two, thank you very much, Jim, magic. But I just wanted to mention you because obviously this was supposed to be the VCLT from way back in the start of the year. And as always, absolutely delighted. So that's the CDs. And so the records I got, I was browsing eBay as you do, and I spotted a seller who was selling a couple of albums, and it was buy it now or best offer. So I emailed them and says, would you take the two of them for £20, because they were in, I would say, excellent condition. And this is the first one that I spotted, and it is Bloodgood Detonation. Now this is also on my wants list. The band I've heard a few people mention, they're, I believe, another one of the, well, they are another sort of Christian metal band, and I believe it's Michael Bloodgood is obviously the main man here, hence the band name being Bloodgood. So this one is Detonation, and it's 1987. I think this might be their second release, I'm not too sure, but the artwork on here is pretty cool as well, I have to say. And they look kind of 80s kind of style there, I would say. And the record is, it's a UK press. Great condition. You get the inner sheet, lyric sheet, and that's the Frontline record label with lyrics on that side. And that was just the inner sleeve. I put it in one of these. And again, the record itself is VG++. And there's the Frontline label. And I have listened to this, and that was okay. It was kind of interesting. They've got a bit of their own kind of sound. They're a little bit different from the likes of Shout or Striper. I thought in places there was a bit of an AC/DC vibe. I thought in places. And so the other one that I got from this seller, I just don't want to tip over these CD sleeves. This is the other one I got in the deal. As I had the two of them, I thought, well, that'd be a good duo to grab. So this is the follow-up to Detonation. Rock in a Hard Place by Bloodgood. This one came out in '88. You can see the back cover gets contender for one of the most bland back covers of all time. Black on red, you know, so, and the writing's quite small. So, and with my eyesight these days, I'm finding I'm having to peer at it to read. But again, Frontline Records, and it's again in beautiful condition. Spine's a kind of a sort of a Peely Valley green colour. And very similar to the previous one, you have a lyric sheet. I think, yeah, that's the debut, I think, just self-titled. Credits and lyrics, again, perfect condition, more or less. And this one is even better condition than Detonator. Is it Detonator or Detonation? I can't even remember. This one is like almost near mint. It's just a tiny little scuff there, but apart from that, it's beautiful condition. And again, Frontline Records. So I listened to these two, and out of the two, I prefer this album. I prefer Rock in a Hard Place. I think it's just got the better tracks on it, but they're both not too bad. And as I say, it's just one listen. I think they'll grow on me. And so the other two which I saw online at good prices, thought I couldn't resist, was I found Stratovarius and Eternal. This, I think, is maybe their latest studio album, or their one of their latest. It's one of the much more recent in the catalogue. Whereas I hadn't listened to anything by this band that was overly recent. I've got more of their sort of earlier, one or two of their earlier ones. But again, I put this on, just one spin, and it's okay, pretty decent. I quite enjoyed it. Again, I need to give it some more listens to kind of absorb it better. And it's a single album, but it is in a gatefold, and this is Ear Music. Nice gatefold picture of the band there. And the nice thing with the Ear Music ones is they're one of the labels, like SPVs do it as well. Steamhammer does it as well. They still do the picture inner sleeves, which I quite like when you get them this way, with the lyrics on that side. And it's 180 gram, and side A. and side B. So again, you know, Stratovarius, one of Finland's leading symphonic metal bands. I know they've had one or two lineup changes. As I say, I quite like this, but I think it's, at the moment, it's not my favourite out of what I've got for them, but it's not horrible either. Whereas in comparison to Sonata Arctica, their latest one, I was a bit disappointed with that one. That was one of my disappointments from last year. This one I would say is a lot better than that one. And the last one I've got to show, 25 minutes. That's what happens when I ramble. I saw this one as well, and great price, and so I jumped on it. And it's the latest studio album from this band, and it's Gamma Ray, the mighty Gamma Ray, and it's Empire of the Undead. So this was their latest studio release, according to Discogs. Incidentally, Stratovarius was 2015. This one is 2014. That's quite a long time ago when you think about it. 6 years. But Kai Hansen's a busy lad as well, isn't he? So, and this is a double LP, so there's 4 sides. Some of the tracks are a wee bit long. You've got 2 tracks on side A. Avalon is 9 minutes 22 and Hellbent is 5 minutes 22. And then the others are all they're all over 4 minutes. There's not one under 4 minutes on this album. So yeah, produced by Kai Hansen. Another gatefold, obviously. And there you have Kai Hansen there and a whole bunch of pics. And also on the Ear music label, you have picture inner sleeves, and each member of the band features on a side, because I think this band's just got 4 members, and it's the same with the record labels on the actual records. Each is a custom picture of one of the band members, and that's side A, and there's side B. So side C and D is the same, except it's the other band members. 180 gram, and what do I think of this one? This is absolutely fantastic. This is just killer classic Gamma Ray. It's just German power metal, just fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous stuff. So that's it. So that's my wee update for now. As I say, thanks again to Andy, to Mike, to Jim, and thanks to everybody for watching and listening to my ramblings, and I'll catch us all in another video. So take care, bye just now.